Welcome back to Real Life Recaps. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Our first story was posted by Pharrell14. Am I the a-hole for refusing to hang out less with my brothers because of my stepsister? I, 18 female, am the youngest of 4 siblings. I have 3 older brothers, Michael, 28 male, John, 27 male, and Chris, 25 male. Our mother passed away when I was 8. And since then, my father, 53 male, and my brothers have been quite protective of me. I had father-daughter date nights with my dad and movie nights with my brothers, among other things. I think that was their way of making sure I didn't feel lonely. Last year, my father got married to Melissa, 45 female. She, with her daughter Ashley, 18 female, moved in with us. I always got the sense that Ashley didn't like me. She would talk to my dad and my brothers, but she never talked to me. Whenever I tried to talk to her, she would answer curtly and then walk away. I never understood why or if I did something to her, but after a few weeks of trying to get along with her without success, I gave up. We were civil to each other, and that was enough. My brothers were also on the fence about her. She keeps insisting to be invited to our movie nights, but she would always demand to see a movie she liked even if none of us liked it, and she kept trying to cuddle with my brothers, which they find uncomfortable and weird because they don't really know her. Chris actually told her to knock it off because he didn't like that she was so touchy with him. Recently, I had my 18th birthday. It was fun and low-key, and I got wonderful gifts. The next day, Ashley came to me and told me that it was unfair that my brother's gifts to me were better than their gifts to her for her birthday last June. For context, my brothers each gave her a $200 gift card to different stores so she can buy what she liked, because they didn't really know her. They gave her gifts to be civil. My brothers got me a personalized perfume, a signed copy of an entire book series that I've been obsessed about lately, and a personalized planner with messages and quotes on each page. I will admit that they put more thoughts into my gifts, but I think it's fair since they don't really know her. But then Ashley started crying, saying that I always got everything and she got nothing, and she then demanded I stop hanging out with them, and said that if I didn't hang out with my brothers so much, then they would pay more attention to her. She also wanted me to tell them to treat her like they treated me because she was also their sister now. I told her that I won't force my brothers to do something they didn't like. She insisted that I call my brothers right that moment, to tell them that I would hang out less with them and that they should get Ashley better gifts. I refused. Apparently, she told her friends and cousins because I've been getting messages from them telling me I'm a spoiled, selfish kid, so I'm second-guessing myself. So, Aida? From the comments. Rhino Regrets says, not the a-hole. Why is your stepsister so concerned with having a good relationship with your brothers but not you? I find that behavior so weird. I don't like to jump to conclusions, but this need to get along with your brothers and being jealous of the relationship you have with them screams insecure to me. She's practically a stranger to all of you. Over time, the relationship between all of you should naturally develop, but she can't be expected to be treated like a sister already, especially when she is so cold towards you. I'm pretty sure your brothers pick up on that, and it'll only make them like her less. Your stepsis needs to back way off. I don't even want to start with the fact that she tried to cuddle with your brothers. That's a whole other story. Incident Major 1777 says, exactly, the brothers know how she treated their sister badly, so they give her the same treatment, not the a-hole OP, but Ashley and her friends are the a-hole. Vegetable Cod 2340 says, does Ashley even consider that the brothers keep her at a distance because she's so mean to their sister? Hope you need to have a conversation with your dad and brothers about what she said. It's suspicious that she has the conversation with you in private. If she was so concerned, why not say something to the boys? Because it's not enough that the boys pay attention to her, she wants Op to be left out. Put Ashley on blast and get her intentions out there so everyone can be aware and on guard if need be. Our second story was posted by City Mousy. Am I the a-hole for refusing to inherit the family farm and giving it to my younger brother instead? 36. Male grew up on a big farm that was owned by my family, who worked as farmers for generations. Much to the detriment of my parents, I hated farm life from a very young age. I never liked dirt or grime, and farm animals were also never my thing. So to no one's surprise, I left the farm when I turned 18 and never looked back. I currently live in a big city. I still love my family very much and visit the farm from time to time, but I'm always the happiest when I return to my urban lifestyle. My mother passed away 3 years ago, and 2 months ago I unexpectedly lost my father due to a work accident. This left my younger brother Tom, 30M, and I as the sole beneficiaries of their estate. I didn't expect to be left with much, since my folks helped me out financially more than enough times while they were still alive. I honestly only wanted a couple of family trinkets and heirlooms to keep as a keepsake, but to my surprise, as my brother and I sat down with the attorney to discuss our father's will, we discovered that I was left with the majority of the farm, about 3/4, while Tom was left with the rest. The only reason I can fathom behind this decision is that unlike Tom, I have 2 children, 10 male and 7 female. So maybe that's why I was given the bigger share? But I'm not entirely sure since my children had their own inheritance in the will. Either way, this split of inheritance was ridiculous, since unlike myself, Tom actually lived on the farm and dedicated his entire life to working on it alongside our parents. I saw that Tom was also shaken up by the decision, so I reassured him that I found it absurd as well, and I don't mind forfeiting the land to him. Tom said I didn't have to do that, but I insisted. After some back and forth on the topic, we mutually agreed to settle this between ourselves on a later date when everything would be transferred under our names as our parents intended. I recently informed my wife Jules, 35. Female of my decision regarding my inheritance, and she is furious with me for wanting to give most of it up. She is arguing that my decision is impulsive and short-sighted, since the farmland is worth a fortune, and I'm just giving it away without a second thought. I told her that the land is worth a fortune only for those who actually intend on doing something with it, and since I neither intend to sell it or farm on it, it's effectively useless to me. Jules continued to say that it might be useless to me, but I should think about our children who might one day want to start farming. I told her in that case I'll transfer only half of the land to Tom, so our children could have 1/4 of the land at their disposal in the hypothetical scenario they get into farming one day. Jules is now not speaking with me until I reconsider my decision. I need to hear some unbiased opinions to see if I'm in the wrong here. From the comments, Rhino Regrets says, "Not the a-hole." I may be way off, but it sounds like your wife saw a load of money slip from her fingers and she's angry rather than seeing the situation for what it is. You wanted nothing to do with the farm, but your brother has been there his whole life taking care of it. The split at the very least should have been 50-50. I think the scenario your wife gave of your children growing up and wanting to start farming is a stretch. You live in the city and they are growing up around an urban lifestyle. I don't know your kids, but I don't think they're eager to start living that farm life. If she's that worried, keep 1/4 like you mentioned. Antique Wafer 8605 says, keep it separate, and if OP dies before the brother, the remaining 1/4 goes to the brother. Otherwise, the wife gets OP's share and forces the brother to buy her out or sell the farm. Wife has no input in this. It's OP's inheritance, and I hope he gives it to his brother. Adusta Terra 74 says, I remember my grandparents did this growing up and it always offended me. I remember thinking it was crappy from a child's perspective. My dad is working at the company my grandpa co-founded, but of course you do that. Marriages come and go. My thinking was that's not fair. My dad works 50+ hours a week, he works horrible hours, and he'd have to pay my mom and she'd get all this money if they got divorced. I understood marital assets way too early due to my uncles divorcing. Well, mom and dad ended up just fine, and now that I'm older, and I saw a cousin actually put his inheritance in his wife's name, only for her to have an Asian baby, which was really cute. Problem is, They were both Norwegian, German, and French, so that provided much-needed context for the 3 months she was stationed in Korea. Gotta take care of your kids first. Our last story was posted by DNA Connection 22. Would I be the a-hole for contacting my biological family even though my adoptive brother doesn't want me to? I, 22. Male was adopted when I was about 2 years old. My adoptive parents also adopted another boy, Sam, 18 male, who isn't biologically related to me. Neither of us has had any contact with our biological families. As our parents made it clear, they wanted us to wait until we were at least 18 before exploring that part of our past. I've always respected their wishes, and when Sam turned 18, we decided to take an at-home DNA test together. Before we did the test, we made a pact. If either of us found any biological family members, we'd support each other no matter what. The idea was that we were in this together, and if only one of us found family, the other would still be there no matter how it turned out. The whole reason I waited until now was because I wanted us to do this together, as we'd always planned. Fast forward to when we got our results. I was lucky enough to find some close biological family matches, and one of them turned out to be a brother I never knew I had. He sent me a message right away, and it was full of excitement. He talked about how he's been searching for me for years, and how much he wants to connect. It was overwhelming in the best way possible, but I haven't replied yet because I wanted to process everything first. Sam, on the other hand, wasn't as fortunate. His closest match was a fifth cousin, someone who is basically a stranger. Understandably, he was pretty upset. I tried to be there for him, but things took a turn when I told him about the message from my brother. Sam got really upset and said it wasn't fair for me to contact my biological family while he's stuck with nothing. He thinks it's selfish of me to even consider it when we should be doing this together, and if he can't find his family, then neither should I. This led to a pretty heated argument. I tried to explain that I've waited years to do this, out of respect for our parents and because I wanted to share the experience with him. But now that the opportunity is here, I feel like I shouldn't have to wait any longer, especially since this might be my only chance to connect with my roots. I don't want to hurt Sam, but I also don't want to miss out on this connection with my biological brother who seems so eager to get to know me. I understand where Sam is coming from. It feels like I'd be abandoning him if I move forward without him, and I don't want to make his feelings worse than they already are. But on the other hand, we're adults now, and I think it's okay for me to pursue this. It's not like I'm trying to exclude him or downplay his feelings, but I don't want to let this opportunity pass by. So, Aita for wanting to contact my biological family even though my brother doesn't want me to? From the comments. Responsible End 6371 says, not the a-hole. Your brother's struggle must be incredibly difficult, and he will need support from you this time, but there is no valid reason that he should hold you back from meeting your biological family if you wish to. Him telling you that it isn't fair is the uncontrolled lashing out of a person in pain. It's not fair to you, and it's not healthy for him. Encourage him to reach out to a counselor if you are not a safe person for him to work through this with. And go find your family if you desire it. Help your brother to remember that he will not be replaced by this new family, and that this is just an important step in learning more about yourself and your past. Mother Panther says, 100%, not the a-hole, and also everything stated above. Find your family, but don't lose connection with your brother. He is probably scared that when you find your bio family, you will forget about him and he will lose you. Reassure him that is not the case, but also do what you need to do. Not Creative at All 16 says, not the a-hole. I understand Sam's unhappiness, but the thing about DNA testing is that just because he didn't find any close family this time doesn't mean that he will never. My best friend had an unknown half-brother reach out to her after years of being on 23andMe. You both gambled about being able to find anyone, and unfortunately, only you hit the jackpot. But his disappointment shouldn't keep you from meeting them. Meeting blood relatives doesn't make you any less his brother. Let him know that if the situations were reversed, you'd likely feel the same. But you would still encourage him to explore and see where it went. But what are your thoughts and opinions on these stories? Let me know in the comments below and have an awesome day.